Hey guys, it's me, Gary Lee Stanley, your sales guy. Hey, today we're going to talk about our favorite subject, which is sales. All right, we got a cool subject for ourselves today, so let's go ahead and take a look at what is our topic for today. It is selling and doing more than you're paid for equals success. What did he say? I said selling and doing more than you're paid for equals success. Let me tell you something. I've been in sales since the 80s in one form or capacity, and I have always watched the cream rise to the top. And a tremendous amount of time, the reason why is because the people at the top, they always do more than they're actually paid for, at least at the time. And a lot of times people will go, man, those people are successful. They did good. They're making all this money. Well, I want to be like them. But see, here's the thing. The secret sauce in it all is you got to work really, really hard. And you have to remember selling and doing more than you're paid for, especially when you first get into sales. It doesn't matter what company you work for or what type of product you're selling. This is just a magic to success. I'm just telling you, if you show up early every day, if you're one of the very last persons to leave work every day, if you're a person who trains, is always looking for new training, who's always trying to become a better salesperson, a person who picks up that heavy phone early in the morning, all through the day, and calling on customers, or if you're a person who's knocking on them doors, and don't give up, and if you get a sale, that those successful people are the ones who get the sale and go on and on and on, because they know that when you have a success mind and you're sold something, you're more inclined to sell even more. But remember, our topic is selling and doing more than you're paid for, especially in the beginning. I'm going to tell you what, when I first got into sales, I didn't know what I was doing. I had no idea. I didn't really, I was working with these guys and they told me their pitch and everything and what I should do. And I went with them door to door and they were selling stuff. And the one guy that taught me and showed me the business, this guy was tremendous. He was really, really good. And I'm going to tell you what, I remember sitting there working with this guy and everything. And it was like, man, I felt like, hey, I'm selling stuff, but man, I could do even better. I just wish I had somebody help me. And then little did I know, about probably less than 6 months to a year later, God sent another man into my life. And this guy was my mentor. He was my manager. And he hooked us up with CDs. At the time it was cassettes. And we were listening on in his living room 3 days a week to this guy named Zig Ziglar, Brian Tracy, Tom Hopkins, and some other salespeople who had already been in the trenches and who had already become successful. But see, here's the key. All successful people are always looking outside the box. What we were doing is, the boss said to me, he says, and to all of us actually, he says, if you want to be mediocre, that's okay. But if you want to be successful, listen to what these people are saying. Write down the information that they're saying and incorporate it in your selling career. And I'm going to tell you what, I did. I started learning the fundamentals, how to have a sales conversation. I learned how to overcome objections. I learned techniques on how to overcome, when people say no. And a lot of times they don't know because they don't know. And so your simple job is to teach them, and our whole topic for today is selling, doing more than you're paid for. Because see, you can go get a sales job and you can be mediocre. I mean, you can show up, or maybe you could be one of these people who blast off to the top really, really quick. But what makes the difference between a mediocre salesperson and a person who's top and the best? They work their ass off. That's just the way it is. They work very smart. And see, what happens is, after a while, you get people in your pipeline. You start doing the same job over and over and over. Your vernacular, the way you have conversations, it seems like you get the same objections, but once you learn how to overcome those objections, you can use that for the next sell. And it just really makes sense. So you have to work really, really hard. I've worked with some managers. I'm going to tell you what, they was in the bathrooms when I was selling electronics, when I was selling furniture. They were vacuuming. They were cleaning the bathrooms. They were doing the grunt work. And the reason why is because they knew that they had to take care of business, and they didn't see themselves as any better than anybody else. But see, they were. Because see, to me, when I look at a leader do more than they're actually supposed to, That makes me want to do more than I'm supposed to. Never say it's not your job. If your boss has asked you to clean the toilets, clean the bathroom, or just take out the trash, or, go call people, get out there and knock on some doors. Don't talk back. Look, they know what they're doing. A lot of times salespeople and management, they've already been out there, and hopefully they've had some good training, and they've been out there, and they know exactly what you're going to go through. So you got to go ahead and work hard. I'm going to tell you what, I've been in sales a long time, and I've had some good sales jobs, and I've had some jobs that I couldn't wrap my mind around, but I didn't give up on sales. Remember, it's real hard work. You have to work hard. And the ones that I failed at, it was like, well, at least I gave it a shot. And sometimes it was because I didn't have a lot of time. Because if you're a salesperson and you work on commission, guys, I'm just going to tell you this right now, and you're working really, really hard. So if you find yourself not selling, maybe it's the wrong product that you're selling. Maybe you need to look at some other products to see if there's something that will fit your personality. And I have, and I'm going to tell you what, it's real, real good when you find something that you can have a conversation about and just ask for the order and make sure, you got to get your fundamentals. You got to know your basics. You got to learn how to have conversations about what you're doing. Yeah, I know it sounds kind of simple and everything, but in reality, it's not that hard, okay? Selling is just a transference of enthusiasm, like Zig Ziglar used to say. And I'm going to tell you what, if you're excited about what you're selling, you know a lot about what you're doing, people will be more inclined to listen. Now, you got to make sure that the person that you're talking to can have the will, the means, and the capability to buy what you're trying to sell. And if you're knocking on their door and they're the neighbor and they're at their house, maybe you're not going to sell that particular person. But see, here's our thing. You got to work hard. You got to set your goals. And a person who's, like I said, selling, doing more than you're paid for equals success. Setting goals. What are you going to do in a year? What are you going to be in 5 years? What are you going to be at the end of this month? What are your goals on a weekly basis? How many sales do you need to make to be number one or in the top 10% of your company? People that work hard, they think about stuff like this. Remember, guys, these are things that I want you to think about, the things that can make you better. What can I do to be number one? And if you can't become number one, at least you strive for the top, the best that you can be. See, some people, they're going to be number one no matter what. And these people are there, hey, you can't hate her. You can't hate them. You got to be love and respect those people that are number one. See, a lot of times, not everybody can be, but if you learn the fundamentals, the basics, you can have a great career in selling. You can make a lot of money, honey. And I'm going to tell you what, talking to people is a hell of a lot easier than digging them damn ditches, okay? And did you want fries with that? Come on, man. Having a conversation is a way to talk to people. And when you're a salesperson, selling and doing more basically means you're going to listen to me right now. You're going to watch a lot of the videos that I have. I've got a tremendous amount of them that can teach you some basics, some fundamentals, give you some good inspiration, give you some great ideas on how to have conversations about your product. They're also going to build up your self-esteem. You're important, and salespeople, we really matter. Without salespeople, we would have no economy. We'd have no future. Because, see, the USA is made on money, honey. And if you want some of that piece of the pie, you got to go ahead and remember, I got to work harder than the other people that I work with. Because I'm going to tell you what, I work with some guys in sales because I sell all kinds of products in this regard. And I've seen some people that were very mediocre, and they just started studying. They started studying. They started getting certifications. We started getting licenses, and we got better and better and better and better at it. Like I said, it's a numbers game. The more people you talk to, the more opportunities you have to sell, the easier it is to sell something. So selling and doing more than you're paid for, listen, at first, you say, I don't want to have to do all this extra stuff. I just want to get paid. Well, listen, if you want to get paid the big money, you got to work your ass off. You got to pick up that heavy phone. You got to call on those people. You got to go knock on them doors. You got to reuse those leads over and over and over. You got to go up, and when you're feeling sad, mad, and all the above, you got to work your ass off. And I don't mean to be disrespectful, but what I'm trying to say is selling and doing more than you're paid for equals equals success, it just makes common sense. My name is Gary Lee Stanley, your sales guy, and we just had a very simple conversation about success and what we need to do to be successful. You got this. So go out there and sell something, and remember, hey, selling and doing more than you're paid for, I believe it. It's going to give you more money, and you will eventually get paid for it. All right.